Livid_Fox_1811. Denied my parents $250,000. I had dinner with my family a week ago. It was to celebrate my younger sister for getting into a medical fellowship. We are 10 years apart in age. The first 15 minutes into dinner, my parents asked me for $250,000 so they could downsize and buy a house, retired. First, I don't have that amount of cash lying around and told them I'd have to sell my investments to raise that amount of cash, and I don't want to pay tax. Then I told them to sell their current house first, come live with me, and then buy another house using the money they received from the previous house. It all seemed fine until my mom started to criticize me about money later. She may resent me for not buying her much stuff when I first had a real job. I make mid-six figures, but I've also had to pay back almost $160,000 in loans. She said that I don't give enough for her birthday, and that I don't see her as anything. She also said I never was generous to her anyway, so she didn't expect me to give her any money. To be honest, I gave her $50. But I also take them out to dinner every month even though I hate it. They're extremely negative people. Always bickering and just overall will bring your happiness level down for a day or two, but I do it because they're my parents. Always talking to me about divorce. Anyway, am I in the wrong here for denying them the money? And should I be more generous to them? I feel like a burden to them up until the point I made money. Edit. Lots of astute folks here wondering if it's a cultural thing. I'm Asian. I don't think, though, that my other Asian friends have had that big of an ask by their parents. That probably explains a lot. However, I don't think my other Asian friends have had this big of an ask from their parents. Doesn't seem like they grew up feeling like a burden to them either. And yes, this is real. Unfortunately, my parents, especially my mom, really know how to cloud my judgment and lay down the guilt. Professional_and5908. Unfortunately, this is a cultural thing. I can tell from the post that OP is from a country where it is ingrained in us that our parents have raised us, and we in turn are indentured servants who needs to care for them and show gratitude for the rest of our lives. Okay, maybe not to that extreme for some of us, but true for others. Unfortunately for OP, the latter is true here. OP, you should be financially responsible and do what you want and can for your parents. But for your mental health, I would distance from your parents a bit until they understand how they are negatively affecting you. I know it's hard to do and there's guilt here, but it's not going to get better if you don't talk to them about their behavior. Cassowary 32. NTA. Are you serious? They bold-faced asked for $250,000 in cash for a house? That makes no sense. If they are downsizing, the proceeds they get from the larger place should more than cover their new place. Have they been pulling the equity out of their current home? Why can't they make an offer contingent on the sale of their current place? Are they putting you on the deed if you gave them the money? Would they ever pay you back? Offering to let them stay with you is more than generous, though it sounds like a terrible idea if you can't stomach a monthly dinner with them.
Hello there, read it here. It's outrageous that your parents would have the audacity to demand such a massive sum of money from you, especially during a celebration meant to honor your sister's achievements. Their entitlement knows no bounds, and their manipulation tactics, particularly your mother's guilt-tripping, are utterly reprehensible. You're absolutely right to prioritize your own financial stability and future prospects over their unreasonable demands. It's not your responsibility to fund their lifestyle choices, especially when it would require you to sell off investments and incur hefty tax burdens. Furthermore, their constant negativity and emotional manipulation are toxic and draining. You shouldn't have to tolerate their incessant bickering and guilt-tripping just because they're your parents. It's high time you put your foot down and establish firm boundaries to protect your own well-being. As for generosity, you've already gone above and beyond by taking them out to dinner every month and providing some financial support in the past. Their ungratefulness and demands for more only highlight their selfishness and lack of appreciation for what you've already done. Don't let their manipulative tactics cloud your judgment or make you feel guilty. Stand your ground, assert your boundaries, and prioritize your own needs and goals. You owe them nothing, especially not at the expense of your own financial security and mental health. Now let's hear what some other thinks. very last Boy Scout. If all this is really true, then your parents are weird and your mother has to see a therapist stat. I'm the father of 2 grown-up daughters. First off, I don't want to say, I would never ever ask my children for money. But it would have to be a really dire situation. I mean really bad. Horribly bad. So bad, I don't want to think about it even hypothetically. And then what the F is wrong with your mother, that she keeps tabs on the value of your presents? Who does that? She is a grown-up woman. She can get her own stuff. I love my kids love me. We like to spend time together. But for my last birthday, I got a book. And for Christmas, it was a voucher for bowling with the 2 of them. And I liked the book and liked to go bowling with them. Period. Your mother is not only a negative person. There is something really wrong with her self-esteem and her perception of her and her personal relationships. Impressive_ice 6970. I feel this 100%. My youngest daughter just got a career-type job after graduating college. I feel complete as a parent because I got them from birth to college graduation, but I don't feel it made me a great father. I was good, but I felt my role was one of teacher after they demonstrated they knew the difference between right and wrong, when I demanded they listen to me as a safety issue. After that it's about letting them experiment with who they want to become. I was just there to help when they had questions. Support when they hurt. Encourage when they are discouraged. Because I will not be here one day, I was all about them being ready for the world when they turned 18. To do that, kids need the freedom to explore, the freedom to make mistakes. All that is to say, I stopped expecting them to do things for me around the same time. There were years they forgot my birthday until I heard them scrambling to make a hasty card that morning. To me it was no big deal. They felt terrible and the next year they were much more thoughtful. That's called learning. Anyway, I feel they owe me nothing. My parents owe me nothing. Nobody owes me shit. If you're in a relationship thinking people owe you things, I bet they notice the feeling and don't like it. Be grateful anytime anyone, family or stranger, takes the effort to be kind to you and they will enjoy being kind to you, and vice versa. I feel for OP. Those expectations would make any love feel superficial. Anyway, sounds like you agree with all that, so not sure why I'm restating it now, but I think you're exactly right. Is that what the up arrow thingy is for? Snopineapple 6676. 100% truth, from a mom with sons making 6-figure salaries. You are definitely NTA. Your parents need mental help. I was raised that every generation wants the next to do better. You pay it forward to the best of your abilities. My great-grandparents worked hard to provide, my grandparents worked hard, my parents were the first with degrees, my husband and I have advanced degrees, my boys make more than I ever did. What do they owe me? Nothing. Hopefully they love me, want to spend time with me, and maybe one day I'll have grandkids to dote on. I agree with the dad that said I'd have to be in a dire situation to ask for their assistance with money. Sorry your folks see you as a paycheck, especially when you generously offer them solid alternatives. Stand your ground and just make a mental note to never do this to your children. Congratulations on your success. You didn't get there all on your own. Remember and be grateful for those who helped along the way. Every now and then, turn around and look for the little you, and lend them a hand or advice to help the next generation succeed. Love your parents but set your boundaries. Live a great life. Slightly smiling face. Corfies 74. Mommy seems to think relationships are transactional and love is conditional. No wonder OP feels so messed up. My family and I, all kids grown, long ago agreed on a non-aggression pact, where nobody gives anybody any present for any holiday whatsoever, we just spend time together, and eat and drink. We're German. That's such a relief and such a time and money saver. And you don't have to fake gratitude for some shit you don't need and don't have space for. OP, If you had to pay back $160,000 in student loans, I assume your parents didn't pay for your education. So why would you now owe them a house, if we're speaking in transactional terms? Especially since they have assets they can sell to raise the money themselves. Also, they should be able to get a loan for a down payment with their current house as security, even if they don't manage to sell it instantly when they find their dream house. Your offer of letting them move in was very generous, especially considering how much of Debbie Downer they are. I would help them secure a loan and rescind the offer. Gypsy 1963. For some reason, some parents think they deserve to be paid back for raising their children. They don't. I think it's incredibly entitled and extremely hypocritical that your parents are asking you for such an outrageous amount of money when they didn't pay for your college that gave you the opportunity to make the salary you bring in. What reason did they give you for not selling their current home to buy a smaller, downsized retirement home? Which is how normal homeowners usually obtain new homes, unless they have the extra cash laying around. Good for you for asking them this very reasonable question, which doesn't sound like they ever responded to, by the way. Is your sister the golden child? Is it possible that they plan to use that money for your sister? Or they want that money to buy her a house or pay off her student loans? Or is it possible that they remortgaged their home to fund her college education? I just find it beyond strange that your parents would bring up such a delicate subject in front of your sister or at a dinner celebrating her. Your mother's hysterical overreaction tells me she's incredibly entitled or she's not being honest with you about the requested money's purpose. Most parents would be overjoyed that they were even remembered on their birthdays, let alone received a gift as well. As a parent and grandparent, 60/F, my intuition tells me there's far more to the request than they're telling you. It doesn't even sound like they were asking to borrow the money, more like demanding as their due. If your parents or mother keep harassing you or berating you, please protect yourself and limit your contact with them. Congratulations on your success. Best wishes and many blessings for your future. What do you think? Leave a comment about his story.